This is the Ourvoice 360 podcast, our perspectives, our way, keeping you in the know while you're on the go. This podcast was created with you in mind. On Ourvoice 360, we'll give you inspiration, sports, business and leadership tips, Black history, and entertainment. This is a show built from our perspectives. So if you're ready to be entertained, inspired, laugh a little, be informed, and enlightened, tune in now to Ourvoice 360. Let's go! Hey everybody, and welcome to the show Ourvoice 360. Our perspectives, our way. I'm your man Chad Bumgarner, 1/3 of the trio here, and I got with me my man Pete Hunt.
What's going on, family?
And my man Mike Brown, the Don Dada.
What's good with you?
All right, fam, and with that, let's go ahead and get into it.
Our sponsors today are Elect Graphics and Photography. Allow your visions to become reality. And also CDB Consulting. Great leadership equals great results. How are you leading? And if you would like to become a sponsor for Ourvoice 360 podcast, just shoot us an email at ourvoice360@gmail.com and we'll get to you as soon as possible. Hey, Mike, talk to us about that inspiration.
All right, gentlemen, family. Today's inspirational quote is coming from a guy that I read a lot on, which is a guy by the name of Napoleon Hill.
Oh, this brother reads. Okay.
Yeah, you ain't know that. The book, it don't have no pictures in it, but it's deep though, because the quote today is think twice before you speak, because your words and influence will plant the seed of either success or failure in the mind of another.
That's big.
So I think a lot of people need to understand that, especially those with children and those who speak to a lot of the youth. That's why, you know, your big mamas used to always say, don't speak to the children out of anger, because you can either feel or destroy them as far as, you know, their self esteem, basically. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's for anything. That's what children are grown people alike. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You have to be able to watch your words and watch your tone and how you express your feelings to people.
That's
because right. Because if you don't, I mean, it can go haywire real quick. I
agree.
I think it's something that, you know, people need to learn how to just learn to be quiet and listen to what the person that's coming to you. Listen to what they have to say before you blurt out what you think is the answer to what they're about to say. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that mess. You always messing up. You know what I mean? Right. You know, you got to be careful. But that, you know, that quote really it really hit home with me, because that's something that my parents always told me. Right. You know, watch how you talk to people, because you don't know. Like a lot of people say, you might be the only church somebody knows. You know what I mean?
Or the only light that people see.
That's right. That's right. I don't know why you try to take my line, Pete, but that's cool.
Actually, I'm Chad, but okay.
I'm talking to Pete about you. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yes.
I missed that.
Kim did it again.
I was just trying to piggyback.
I'm just messing with you, brother, but you know, you're right.
Nah, but that is true, especially in this day and age with the well, I guess it's always been there, the gap as far as communication with the young folks and the old folks. Sometimes it's good as older, just listen. You know, sometimes to the young cats, you don't always have to agree.
Right, exactly.
But just listen, because
and sometimes that goes vice versa too.
It does.
Because you're older doesn't mean you know everything.
Right.
That's true. I agree.
Times a steady change, especially with the age of computers and things like that. You know, a lot of our generation, we have to help the elderly or the older people, because we up there in age now ourselves.
Right.
But you know what, Mike? Real quick, our generation, we came up at a golden time because we came up at a time before technology.
Yeah.
And we saw technology
Evolve.
Birth and evolve.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any other generation can say that. So we are a unique generation, if you will.
Yeah.
To be able to know what it's like to play outside and and communicate face to face, and then use the technology. Yeah, we know like before and after.
Like I was telling my sons, the way vehicles are made today are not like they used to be made years ago. Because remember, we didn't have cell phones.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I used to get in my car, especially when I was in the military, and drive from Florida to Virginia. Mm-hmm. And I'm checking in with I'm calling, on the payphone.
Payphone, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't have to worry about if my car was going to do this or my car was going to do that. You know what I mean? Right. And the roads were a lot safer because people were more focused on the road.
That's true.
That's true.
They didn't have any distractions. You're right.
That's right.
Well, Mike, appreciate that inspiration, my brother. Make me walk a little taller, back a little straight. I appreciate that.
Yes,
appreciate that.
That's right.
My man Pete with
Sports
Brief. Holla at us.
Man, it's a lot of things going on in sports right now, but today I want to hit 3 topics today. First of all, Major League Baseball is coming back. Yeah, Major League Baseball is back. The Players Union and the MLB have agreed to come back. They'll be back July 1st, would be the first day of spring training. But with the COVID going around, a lot of players right now are with the uptick in testing, quite a few players are being tested positive. So now they're kind of in a limbo right now as far as, do we still want to do this? But it's a good thing that they settled their differences. They're going to have a 60-game season. And again, spring training will start July 1st. And the first major league game will be July 24th. But there's going to be some differences in this 60-game series of games. The new rules will be there will be a designated hitter now in the National League, where, in the American League has always had the DH. The National League, it's the pitcher hit. So now they're taking the pitcher out of the lineup, and now they'll have a DH just like the American League now, which they're testing it out in this 60 game period to see if they want to continue it into next year. Mm-hmm. Also, in the later innings and extra innings, a base runner will start on second base now.
Oh wow!
So you'll have a runner on second base starting in the 10th inning. So that the games will go by quicker. You have an easier chance to score a run in those extra innings. Also, they will have COVID-19 tests. Every player will have a COVID-19 test every other day. So to keep on top of the safety, every player every other day will receive a COVID-19 test. And the 60 games will be broken down like this. You'll have 40 divisional games, and you'll have 20 interleague games. So American interleague game, American League playing the National League, those type of games. So that's how it's looking for baseball right now. My second topic is the NFL. Mm-hmm. Again, a situation, they're in limbo. They don't know what they want to do, just like with baseball, with the uptick of COVID-19 tests. More players are being positive. Right. But the good thing, they're asymptomatic. So that's the good thing about it. They're not, they're contagious, but not highly contagious and not really getting bad sick. They have some of the symptoms, but not, those symptoms that could take them up out of here. So it was announced this morning that the Hall of Fame game has been canceled. Yeah, the Hall of Fame game between Dallas and Pittsburgh has been canceled. So now you're really looking at a situation. Can the NFL get this year started? Because if you're already canceling games, right, that's not a good look. No. And unlike baseball, where guys are spread out. I mean, they're together in the dugout, but on the field they're spread out. Right. And football, this is a contact sport. You got guys.
But look, Pete, real quick to add to that. Now we just had a golfer, pro golfer, come down with COVID-19.
Yeah.
Now that's the ultimate social distancing game. If you can't control COVID-19 in that arena, then basketball and the NFL, I don't see it. I mean, I think it's going to be a situation between the players and the owners. The players are more worried about their health and bringing that stuff home to their family. And I think the owners are more worried about this money that they lose.
It's financial.
And I just paid this guy several $1 million coming out of college, and now he's just sitting here.
Right.
But now at the same time, do you take your high dollar athletes and subject them to something that's potentially deadly? Yeah.
Well, you see, actually, you brought up golf, Chad. You had a golfer step out. This Brooks Koepka, he stepped out of a tournament this week because his caddy tested positive for COVID. So he had to drop out of this week's tournament because of his caddy. And now, even if we take it to the NBA, even with the bubble scenario they have in Orlando, I mean, you have guys, you know, Avery Bradley, Trevor Ariza, those two have already said, look, we're not going to go play. Right. And in Avery Bradley's case, he has a child, a sick child. So, I mean, and has immune deficiencies. So he doesn't.
Isn't Chris Paul also trying to convince the players not to go back? Is that not right?
No, that's Kyrie.
Kyrie, I'm sorry.
It's Kyrie is the one that's trying to get a coalition of players not to go back or try to halt the NBA playing. But with Trevor Ariza, it's an even bigger personal problem with him.
Right.
He's fighting. He's going through a nasty divorce, and he's trying to get custody of his son. So the mother of his child said that, okay, you can have him for this entire month, and it's the month that starts the supposedly NBA basketball season coming up. So now he's gonna sit out, so he can take care of his son, his 12-year-old son. And you can't much blame him. You can't much blame him or Avery Bradley or any other player who doesn't want to subject themselves to the COVID virus. So
your health is your wealth.
That's it, man. And if you reflected on college basketball and college football, just last week, LSU had to quarantine over 30 players.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So how is this going to happen? How is this going to happen in the age of COVID? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be extremely hard for these professional sports and these college sports, even down to high school. It's going to be hard for them to get out here and not have crowds or sparse crowds and this not be passed along be passed along to players.
NASCAR is about the only thing we have left. I know they had a couple of races this past week, and it seemed to be pretty good. But I mean, think about it. You still got the pit crews. You know what I mean?
And they're stripped to bare minimum. I mean, it's the minimum people that can keep your car running on the track.
Right.
That's what's going on. I mean, they've stripped it to the bare minimum. So I mean, that's the new reality right now. Until there's a vaccine, there's going to be issues. Somebody's going to pop up with the COVID.
Yeah.
So, in my personal opinion, shut it all down. I mean, shut it down until we can get a vaccine or something that's going to alleviate this COVID situation. So, because it was so botched so bad by the federal government, it was botched so bad that now, with the even in outside of sports, with the uptick of tests, you see now the uptick in positive tests. Yeah. I mean, it's hot spots popping up everywhere. So,
but you know what, Pete? I agree with you when we're going to shut it down, because if you look at other countries like Italy and all those countries in the UK area, when they shut it down, The police were roaming the streets, and your behind could not go out unless it was for doctor-related purposes, or grocery or anything emergency. Over here, you got that problem. You have the problem where now you got people that are mad because you feel like you're violating their rights. I have the right to go outside. I have the right to do what I want to do. I have the right to go mingle. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think
that's why we got the,
I think if that's the fact, if they feel like they got the right, then don't complain when you get it.
and don't complain when you're dead.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's what you're gonna run into. I'm an American and I have rights, and yeah, you got the right to die, but we're trying to help you live. But and if you want to go out there and but see, that's why here in America we had it contained, then it went right back up when they opened up the states, because you got these people that have been sitting in the house or in the area of their homes for so long, they're to the point where they're quote unquote fed up. So do you want to be stir crazy in your house? Or you want to go out and get the virus and potentially die?
I'm tell you like
that's what it boils down.
I'm tell you like my grandmama told me, if you can't be happy in your house, you got a problem.
Exactly.
Amen to that, bro.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Amen to that.
I got a question for you, Pete.
Yes, sir.
As far as the baseball, what are they gonna do? I know they're talking about I know that the owners trying to do all this really in all the sports to get their money situated. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But how are they doing? How are they going to do about the fans? They can't buy tickets to sit in the seat.
As of right now, there will be no fans.
Yeah.
And how they're going to pay? The payers are going to be prorated. That's how their pay is going to be. They're going to have a prorated pay plan, and that was the big sticking point when they first started talking about bringing baseball back. The players were like, okay, how are we going to get our money? See, because baseball, unlike football, baseball contracts are fully guaranteed. Guaranteed. So you got to pay me regardless. But you're gonna have to figure out a way to pay me.
But you know what? And on top of that, if I'm a baseball player and you're forcing me to play, I'm gonna insist on you paying me hazard pay.
True.
Yeah.
Because I'm risking my health and my life.
I think people that are forced. I think the people that are on the front line right now, outside of the sports arenas, need to be getting hazardous duty pay.
Oh, that's for real.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's for real.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on to my last sports topic of today. This morning, an NBA great decided to retire and hang up his sneakers. The great Vince Carter.
What?
Man, good gracious.
Wow.
Fantastic player, fantastic athlete, and the greatest dunker we have ever seen on a basketball court.
Half amazing.
That's what they call him. They call him half man, half amazing. Vince Carter to me, was he was a mix of David Thompson and Dr. J and Dominique Wilkins all rolled into one.
Yeah.
Because not only could he do the fancy dunks like Dominique and hang in the air like David Thompson, he was also, it was beautiful when he did it.
Yeah.
It was like art. It was like artwork. It was like artwork. And we can all go back and remember that his one and only dunk contest.
The Olympics?
Or the Olympics. Man, Vince Carter was.
When he jumped over dude's head and put his.
Yeah.
But it's PG-13. But y'all know the dunk.
Yeah. Frederick Weiss. Yeah, when he jumped over Frederick Weiss.
Yeah.
And this guy, I mean, when he came to Carolina, he was a highlight film, man. He was a highlight film. He was raw, but he could jump out the gym and he would dunk it any way you wanted to. Mm-hmm. But you could see his game when he was drafted and his evolution. You could tell his evolution the longer he played in the game, because he went from a guy that could just dunk and cross people over and dunk. He developed a mid-range game. He developed a three-point shot, especially later in his career. You know, like probably the last 5 years of his career, he was more of a jump shooter. When the athleticism left, you got to rely on something.
Yeah.
Because that athleticism is not going to be there all the time. I mean, you look at somebody like Mike Jordan. Michael Jordan was the same way. When he came back from baseball, he wasn't as athletic as he was. Guess what?
Fadeaway.
Then he got that fadeaway, that post-up fadeaway game. You have to continue to evolve, and that's exactly what Vince did. What do you guys thought about Vince and his career?
I think he's had a wonderful, marvelous career. You know what I'm saying? And I think, I hate to see him go, but it was definitely a joy and a blessing to watch while he was here.
Oh, yeah, no
I'll
doubt.
tell you this, man. Father Time is undefeated.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
I didn't get to watch the press conference, so I'm not sure why, but I got a feeling that the age is probably creeping up on them, and you got these younger cats coming in every year, balling at the gym. Vince was a treasure to watch, and it was great to be in a generation where we could witness, all the things he did. And I think one of the classiest things he ever did, I can't remember the player that said that he was old and he needs to leave the league. And Vince said, well, I'm not leaving anywhere. Somebody's going to have to take my place.
Yeah.
And I feel like whether it's NBA, whether it's NFL, whether it's your job, you do it to the best of your ability until you can't do it anymore.
Yes, sir.
And you bow out gracefully. Don't give it to nobody.
Yeah. 22 years is a long time, man.
It's a long time in the league.
Yeah, that dude's in the league 22 years.
How many games a year? 88 games? How many games?
82
regular season.
Yeah, 82 regular season, and plus if you make the playoffs.
Right.
So yeah, man. I mean,
he's had quite a career, man. I commend him. I pray that God continues to bless him, and I really feel like you're gonna see more of him on the other side of the basketball. Working more for the game.
Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna be behind the microphone. He started setting that up probably 5 years ago. He started calling games. You know what I'm saying? When he was hurt, I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. They brought him in and stuff. TNT brought him in, and he did some little like sideline reporting, in studio stuff, and then a couple weeks later, he actually called a game. So I think that's where Vince is going to be now. I think he's going to be behind that microphone, calling games, doing sideline reporting, and stuff like that. But man, just a fantastic career, man. Yeah. Just a great career, a legend. Like I said, he'll go down as the greatest dunker we've ever seen. Yeah, and I mean, and for me, I don't even think it's close. I don't even think it's close. So that's it for me, guys. On the sports side, Chad. Now it's time for you to give us some leadership tips.
Okay, well, thank you, my brother, and welcome everybody to this week's edition of Chad's Leadership Corner, where you get tips and insight on business and leadership. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, blackexcellence.com had a great article about African-American startup businesses. African-American startup businesses are set to get $112 million at startup costs. So this is beautiful. So thousands of black-owned business startups across the United States are set to secure a $200,000 startup deal from a company called the America Tax Greeks. Now, the company runs a franchise and tax company and will pay all African-American startup costs based on the franchise owners. A total of, like I said before or earlier, a total of $112 million have been earmarked for the entire project annually by the franchise, American Tax Greeks. So African-American business startups can now enjoy as much as $200,000 each as gross income with a zero upfront cost. What? Following the business model, the American Tax Greeks shall take responsibility for startup costs, employee training, and all other business logistics. The franchise owner is free from the hassle of preparing tax returns and still enjoys a startup cost of up to, I think, $37,000. So American Tax Greek startup business model is spreading like wildfire. It is a really big thing now, and it has earned a reputation of being one of the fastest growing franchise arrangements. Now, part of the startup cost waiver provided by this company includes your $40,000 franchise fee, $7,500 in initial advertising costs, $10,000 in equipment and furniture costs. I mean, they are really setting it up for the black entrepreneurs. $1,000 in signs, $9,000 in rent, $5,000 in staff training, $400 in insurance cover, and about $4,500 in miscellaneous to cover licenses, utilities, etc. Because you got to remember, the effort to secure capital for businesses has been a significant challenge for African Americans. And American Tax Greek provides an ample opportunity for the establishment of more black-owned companies. So this is another avenue where small black companies can go to get revenue to start a business or to buy into a franchise and really get a true piece of the American pie.
Right.
So American Tax Greeks is the name of the company, and they're looking for more black entrepreneurs to partner with to help them get their small business off the ground. So if you guys are interested, or anybody out there listening, if you're interested, American Tax Greeks. Google them, go to their website, fill out the application or information that they're looking for, and let's get some more black businesses going. We need that. We need that in our country.
No doubt about that.
Real.
That's big, man.
That is, because I don't know too many other companies or entities that are doing that, catering specifically to the black population, especially entrepreneurs. So this is big.
Yeah. Now what? Now where did this group come from? Do you know what the origins of this group?
No, I don't know how they started. It didn't say in the article how they originated. It was just like they had based on the article, they've been around for a minute.
Wow, information is something.
Yeah.
You have to be able to give people that need it the proper information.
That's right.
Especially the blacks as far as small businesses, because y'all know how it is to go get a startup loan from a bank.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna make us jump through hoops, fill out all this red tape, and then at the end of the day, it's still a 50-50 shot if you get the loan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here, this company is reaching out to young or just black entrepreneurs, period.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you want to buy into a franchise or start your own, they're willing to put up the cost, help train you and your staff. If you have a staff, help pay for rent. Really, the basic necessities to really get you up and going that you need. Advertisement, all that
total
stuff.
package.
Yeah. Office, equipment, advertising, payroll. They help you with the taxes. You don't have to worry about doing taxes. Although if I were you, I would want to sit in on that. Just,
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Because that's your business. You know what I mean? But
Right.
they seem to be on the up and up, man. And a lot of black entrepreneurs are using them and becoming very prosperous. So American Tax Greeks is the name of the company. So you guys go check it out. All right, now for my leadership portion. Are you feared or revered? Nobody likes a control freak. Exceptional leaders understand the distinction between influence and intimidation. It's not just whether you make an impact on people. It's the way in which you approach them that is significant. Mm-hmm. The secret to managing a disproportionately assertive leadership style, yeah, that was a tongue twister, is to become more conscious of your emotions and also adopting different ways to communicate. So with that being said, consider the following real quick. Ask rather than demand. By intentionally using the ask language, you will achieve commitment from your associates.
Right.
So if you're over a team or organization, department, whatever, and you need some stuff to get done, a simple, hey, John, I need you to do me a favor. Can you blah, 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 blah? Oh, sure. Instead of saying, John, get this done over here. See the difference? It's a big difference. Nobody wants to be talked to like that. We're all human.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows you're the manager. You don't have to flaunt that. Just ask the simple question, and 9 times out of 10 it'll get done. Number 2, learn to let go. If you can let go of the notion that everyone has to see it your way, you'll be much more successful in motivating others. Don't always have to be your way, as long as it's done and done right.
Right.
Number 3, talk less and listen more. There are abundant benefits to talking less, asking better questions, and listening more. And that's one of an invaluable trait of a real leader is the ability to listen and ask the right questions. Right. You don't have to do all this talking. You're a leader, not an orator. Your job is to get things done. So in order to get things done, a lot of times you got to listen and make sure you're asking the right questions so you can get this stuff done. And then finally, check your anger at the door. To effectively manage your frustration, practice intentionally diffusing anger before engaging others, rather than trying to maintain your composure in real time. Because sometimes that don't necessarily work.
Mm-hmm.
It don't. You trying to maintain your composure at the same time you're trying to communicate with somebody, and the communication and the body language is not coming off right. So it's better to diffuse the anger first, then engage the person. That way you can give your full attention, and the body language won't be confusing to the receiver, if you will. Mm-hmm. So assertive personality types tend to have short tempers and struggle to understand those with less driven personality traits. More direct leaders may also have difficulty showing empathy for people who don't stand up for themselves. So check your anger at the door. And that's what I have for today for the leadership tip. Are you a feared leader or a revered leader? Because nobody likes a control freak.
And Chad, on piggybacking off what you said, it's always good to treat people the way you want. You talk to people the way you want to be talked to, and treat people the way you want to be treated.
That's right.
I'm telling you that will take you a long way as in your leadership life.
Yeah.
If you treat folk the way that you want to be treated, and look through their eyes if they were you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It would be a lot nicer, and a lot of these situations at the workplace with, people going back up in their job and shooting up folk and all that other stuff. If that manager or that person would have talked to that person properly
with respect.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. If you talk to somebody with respect, it's a win-win for you.
I agree.
I mean, you're gonna get over on your employees or your team, and plus they're gonna run through a wall for you.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, will it be a time where you're gonna have to knuckle up on them and get tough or whatever? Sure.
Of course.
But until then,
right.
Yeah. Until then, you have to treat your people with respect.
That way, because when piggybacking off of you, Pete, if you treat them the way that they should be treated, when you do have to knuckle up on them and really get down to the grindstone, it will not affect them as much because they know the reason why you're doing it is because of this.
Right.
Yeah, I got to get this done. But any other time, he's straight. Right. So they're not gonna take it
the wrong way.
Yeah. Personal. Yeah.
I agree. Because when they understand how you are as a leader, they won't think twice about what you're doing or why you're doing it, because they know who you are.
Yeah. With working in the television industry, the person, the guy that's over me, my supervisor, when he hired me, he said, now Pete, it's going to be some younger people that's going to be telling you what to do, this, that, and the third, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, I'm cool with that, as long as they say it with respect.
Right.
And not be, just bombard me with things and attitude and stuff like that. Ask me to do something. If I'm doing something wrong, pull me to the side. If I'm not panning the camera correctly, tell me I'm not but do it in a way that's respectful.
Yeah,
because if not, there's going to be a problem.
Right. It's supposed to be used as a teachable moment,
right?
Not to diminish somebody or embarrass. Right. All right, fellas. All right. Well, that's it for me. So if you like any other leadership development training, team building, coaching, or diversity training, please do not hesitate to contact me at chad@chadbumgarner.co or call me at 678-571-2773. And remember, great leadership equals great results. How are you leading? So now that we got that out of the way, we coming right back to my main man, Mike, with some Black history. He ready to drop some pearls on everybody. Mike, what you got today?
Fellas, today's segment is not going to necessarily be on a particular person. It's going to be on a particular gender. Have you ever heard of the Eve gene?
No.
I can't say that.
Okay. The Eve gene comes from one woman. That's the black woman. The black woman is the only woman on the face of this planet
I have heard of
that can produce every complexion of everybody in the world.
Black excellence.
There it was.
Black excellence.
Nobody else can do that.
Mm.
Chinese can't produce a black person. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But that's why you have albinos.
Mm-hmm.
There's been cases of twins, one black, one white.
I've seen that. Yep.
Yeah. And both the parents were black. They didn't
stay together long though. The brother got hot. He swore down. Yeah.
That's why, man, when I was doing my research on it this past week, man, that thing really got to me. And I got to thinking about that thing. You know what I'm saying? So, gentlemen, treat your queens like that's what they are, queens.
Exactly.
They are Mother Earth.
That's it.
That's true.
That is it. That is it.
In the most realest sense.
Yeah,
they are Mother Earth. You're right.
Yeah.
Our existence, whatever flavor you are, came from the black woman.
That's right. That's why if you look at the color spectrum or the color chart, if you take every color in the world and put it together, you come up with black.
That's right.
Every color combined equals black.
Man.
So while y'all doing y'all thing and going throughout your week, y'all think about that before you say something out of the way to that beautiful queen.
That's right, because you don't want to get it combined.
Wow.
You thought I was gonna let that slide, huh? You thought I was gonna let that slide.
But yeah, man, I mean, if as a people, if we understood, and I mean a lot of us do, but especially our young folk, if they understood what we come from, what cloth we are cut from, that we were first on this planet.
Yeah. We
are a minister many years ago, older gentleman. I really can't remember his name. He told me one time, we were in the barbershop. He told me one time, he said, son, do you realize that the black man, woman, and child is God's eyes? And I had to sit there and think about it. I was like, what do you mean? I said, what do you mean, sir? What do you mean? You're God's eyes. He said, why do you think in the black community or a lot of black community, there's a liquor store on every corner? Because the devil wants you drunk. The devil wants your vision blinded. I was like, wow.
He said,
why do you think is drugs so prevalent in the black community?
Here's another thing.
He said, because if God can't see clearly, he can't get things done.
Now I'm gonna ask you a question. Another to piggyback off what you're saying.
We're doing an awful lot of piggyback.
Hey, when you on quarantine, that's all you can do. Can't get close enough. So, and I always thought this too. For the black community to have the most police presence, why do they still have the most crime? Think about that. Pete, you froze over there? You good?
Bro, you got me at a loss for words. I mean, I'm just like, because I had never thought about that.
Thought about that about
Like you were smoking when you came up with that? Cause that's one of the.
No, you know I got that lung condition, boy.
You ever thought?
But that's I think about that. You know what I mean?
That's big.
Because
we are the most over-policed community. We have the most over-policed communities, but we also have the most crime. Yeah.
How is that possible? In my neighborhood, I use no joke. Where I live at right now, the police is one cop. I think he lives in the neighborhood, but he rides through the neighborhood once a day. That's the only cop we ever see. You know what I'm saying? He'll throw his hand up at you while you out there cutting the grass, whatever. Ain't nobody breaking no houses. But think about that and ask yourself that, man.
Eve Jean. Damn, Mike.
Yeah, that's big right there. I had never heard of the Eve Jean. You have dropped something. As soon as we get off here, I'm gonna have to go do some research, brother. I appreciate that.
When you do your research, it's gonna tell you that that gene was only found in Eastern Africa.
There we go again.
Don't surprise me.
There we go again. I mean,
and I don't try to I'm not a biblical scholar, but you tell me how Eve can be white
and live in hot ass Africa.
If she comes from a black woman to start with.
There you go. I mean, From
Take your time, please.
if from a biblical perspective, if that's what you do, because everybody don't do that, but from a biblical perspective, I'm gonna break it down even more.
Mm.
God spat upon the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I have never seen any white dirt.
Oh my goodness! Stop playing.
What white dirt have you ever seen?
I ain't never seen no albino dirt.
Never.
Jesus. Wow. Wow.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
if you believe in what the Bible said, it said God spat upon
What
the
he
ground.
said, P, he did what?
Spat
All right.
upon the ground.
Hold on, I'm gonna throw another one at you. Since we going there with it. The Bible says, and then there was light. So what was there first? Darkness.
Dark.
So out of the darkness came the light.
That lets you know dark was first.
Lord have mercy. Look at here.
Well, you know what? That's a whole nother segment. I don't want to get too deep, right?
Yeah, that's a. Yeah, that's on the unfiltered version.
Yeah,
That's on the unfiltered version.
Yeah, that might be next week's topic.
Right. Well, Mike, appreciate that Black History moment,
sir,
man.
sir,
Thank you so
sir.
much, man. Yeah. So now we're entering in the You Know How We Do segment of the show, where you hear up-to-date news about us in the entertainment industry as well as Black achievements overall. So with that, we're going to get on into it with the achievements. Now, goodblacknews.org. That is a website. It is valid. Read an article on that the other day, and it was talking about a famous director, female director by the name of Ava DuVernay. And she has a distribution company called Array. And Array is building a state-of-the-art 50-set movie theater, which will be able to screen independent movies as well as be available for rental. Located west of downtown Los Angeles, a part of the city that doesn't have many media moguls to begin with. It's also the area's only independent theater, and it comes at a time where exhibitors are angry over the impact of, Netflix and other major streaming companies. The Array Library is an eclectic selection of independent films that her and her team has picked, and many of which were directed by women and or people of color. And the underlying theme of all the movies are singular visions and themes of social justice. That's her flagship, if you will, social injustice. And so they're also working on creating opportunities for filmmakers of color. This is why I like this. Not only did she build the 50-set movie theater, but now her company is working with people to create opportunities for other filmmakers of color. Last year, her team teamed up with the Los Angeles mayor, Eric Garcetti, and producer Dan Lin to launch the Evolve Entertainment Fund. And with that fund, it provides promotion, grants, and gap financing for communities historically excluded from the entertainment industry, which would be us and Latinos, so on and so forth. Now, her company, Array, they have a nonprofit division as well, and they plan to create grants for African-American, Latinos, and Asian-American film festivals, societies, clubs, as well as support screenings and film, curriculums and teaching training that will help young audiences learn the value of art and independent film and, of course, social justice. So I want to give a big ups to my sister Ava DuVernay for doing something like that. And we no longer have to go to, I was about to say Teddy Riley, Tyler Perry,
New Jack Swing
to get some help from the Black industry. We got Ava doing her thing.
On the West Coast.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And another thing, ripped from the headlines of blackexcellence.com. A Black-owned tech company develops a police misconduct monitoring app. And I did do some follow-up on this, guys. Maria Watkins from Birmingham, Alabama, is an African-American woman who created the Right There Corporation back in 2017. The Right There Corporation, or RTC as they call it, came up with this brilliant technology-driven solution to alleviate fears of police malhandling of individuals and other life-threatening security matters. This app is in the process of being patented and will be available on Android and Apple smart devices soon. Some of the key features on this app, check this out: GPS tracking, voice touch activation, alerts to emergency contacts, audio-visual surveillance, file complaints to the responsible agency, and also access to a legal referral network. Now, here's the update. The app is a subscription-based app right now. She's still trying to get that app to be more easily accessible. However, she's looking for investors or donations that can help her get the app going. So if you guys want to help, or if anybody out there listening want to help get this app onto Apple and Android devices so we can all use it, go to her website, rightthereprotect.com. rightthereprotect.com.
I got a
That's
question.
her thing.
Yes.
Question.
Okay, so last week, my phone provider went out for a day or two. I don't know if you guys had phone problems last week or what, but it was not a glitch in your system. The government has added a COVID-19 tracker to your phone.
I heard about this. Somebody emailed me about that.
Have you seen it?
I have. I looked at my phone. Fortunately for me, mine was already turned off.
Mine is too. Do you know that, Pete?
No, sir. I did not know that.
You got an Android?
Yes, sir.
All right, go to settings.
Uh-huh.
Then go to Google.
Mhm.
Tap Google, and you'll see a COVID-19 tracker. It lets them know and you know if you've been near someone with COVID-19.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you get a chance, make sure you check your phone and turn that off. Because if they tracking that, they're tracking you on some other stuff too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just happen to be I'm always techie. I'm looking around the internet last night and I looked on my phone and then I saw it too. I was like, what? Because a lot of people say they tried to get in touch with me last week.
Yeah.
And something was wrong with my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, Chad, you did. That's the day I talked to your daughter.
Yeah.
He said it kept going to voicemail.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't getting any calls. And that's why.
Well, I know I was talking to a buddy of mine last week, and the phone just kept going out. I had 4 bars on the phone, just kept going out. Just kept going out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing.
But appreciate that. So all you listeners, check that out.
I think we might have stunned the crowd today, y'all.
So look, real quick, with entertainment, we don't have much time left, but with entertainment news, Bill Cosby granted an appeal in the Pennsylvania sex assault case. Y'all hear about this?
No.
Yeah. In a stunning decision that could test the legal framework of the #MeToo cases, comedian Bill Cosby has won the right to fight his 2018 sexual assault conviction in the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. The 82-year-old Cosby has been in prison in suburban Philadelphia for nearly 2 years after a jury convicted him of drugging and sexually assaulting a woman at his home in 2004. He is now serving a 3 10-year sentence. Now, the Supreme Court has agreed to review 2 aspects of the case, including the judge's decision to let prosecutors call 5 other accusers to testify about long-ago encounters with the once powerful actor and comedian. Cosby's lawyers have long challenged that testimony as remote and unreliable. The court will now also consider, as it weighs the scope of the testimony allowed, whether the jury should have heard evidence that Cosby had given quaaludes to women in the past. Secondly, the court will also examine Cosby's argument that he had an agreement with a former prosecutor that he would never be charged in the case. Cosby has said he relied on that agreement before even agreeing to testify in the trial accuser's civil lawsuit. Those issues have been at the heart of the case since Cosby was charged in December of 2015, just days before the 12-year state of limitations expired.
Statute of limitations.
My bad. Statute of limitations, yes. Appreciate that, Mike. Prosecutors in Montgomery County have reopened the case that year after the Associated Press fought to unseal portions of Cosby's decade-old deposition testimony in the accuser Andrea Constant's sexual assault and defamation lawsuit against Cosby, which he settled now back in 2006. So then dozens of other accusers came forward since then to accuse Cosby, the most beloved American dad, because of his 1980 sitcom. Now, Montgomery County Judge Stephen O'Neill allowed just one of them to testify at Cosby's first trial in 2017, which ended in an acquittal. But a year later, the #MeToo movement exploded. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And in wake of reporting on the Hollywood mogul of Harvey Weinstein, the judge allowed 5 other accusers to testify at the retrial. The jury convicted Cosby on all 3 counts of felony sexual assaults.
On some unattractive Caucasian women.
Yeah. But
they one none of them cute, but he ain't do that. But what about R. Kelly?
You going to somebody's house after 10 o'clock to talk about your career, PM. That's like y'all remember old girl back in the day with Mike Tyson when she went to his room at 3 o'clock in the morning? Talking about, I thought he wanted to talk or something like that.
We could talk on the phone.
What man gonna call you over 3 o'clock in the morning to talk?
3 o'clock in the morning? Why ain't you sleep?
I'm just saying. All right, so we're gonna wrap this entertainment piece up. I'm gonna let that go. Mark Wahlberg dropped Black Lives Matter tweet. Black Twitter reminds everyone of his hate crimes. Did y'all know about his hate crimes?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Mike Wahlberg's life has had some wonderful highs and some despicable lows. After the actor dropped a tweet endorsing Black Lives Matter, numerous tweeters, numerous people on Twitter, let me say that, made it their business to remind the former rapper, known as Marky Mark, that he has a whole hate crimes chapter of his life.
Yep.
Now, obviously, and well, for those of you who don't know, that Mark was born in Boston, so he's a Boston native, particularly in Dorchester. And to say the city has a long history of racism would be an understatement. For a period in the 80s, Mark was clearly not on the side of righteousness since he was accused and convicted of being part of a mob that chased down black children while yelling racial epithets, and also knocked out a Vietnamese man on the street. Now, while he has apologized for his crimes, and at one point in time he tried to get him acquitted, but the judge was like, he even served 45 days in jail of a 2-year sentence after copping a plea for felony assault. Twitter's memory is very, very long. You know, Black Twitter don't forget nothing.
All right, but let me say this, and I'm not defending him, but what I'm gonna say is, everybody has a past.
Agreed.
We get upset when people bring up the past of some black actor. You know what I mean?
I do.
Like,
that's why I say the culture the cancel culture is dangerous. It really is very dangerous. And while I agree,
if you're gonna get mad at everybody past.
Yeah, because everybody lives in a glass house. And in the good book, he who has not sinned cast the first stone. So in a nutshell, Black Twitter let him have it, and they was like, hey, bro, don't forget. But my thing was, he was supporting the movement.
Yeah. He
understood the error of his ways. He was supporting the movement.
Everybody was young once. Right.
Let that man be. Because like you said, Mike, we all have a checkered past. Some of it is public, and some of the things we hope don't nobody find out.
Yeah. Yeah, but as soon as they bring up something about us, then we mad.
Right.
Well, that was then.
That was then.
Well, he changed. Well, they gotta give him the same benefit of the doubt on that one. And like I said, I'm not sticking up for him.
I agree.
It's just, like you said, he's supporting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I used to dance to his music. So that's another thing. Mark and Funky Punch, baby.
Good vibration.
I said, what? I forgot the song, but that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fellas, that's it for me with this segment. So just remember, progress is what you do. Achievement is a lifestyle.
Sir.
So how you living? And with that, we're going to end with the Bible verse of the thought for the week. And it's coming from Proverbs 12, verse 18. And it reads, some people make cutting remarks, but the words of the wise bring healing. And I think that's so prevalent today with the climate that we're living in right now. You got one person in office that's really trying to create divisiveness amongst everyone. And we all got to remember, man, we got to bring words of healing and inclusiveness. I mean, because we all live on the same planet. We can't go nowhere. So we got to make the best of it. And we cannot allow certain entities or people to divide us. So, meditate and dwell on that word for this week. Yes, sir.
Got a question. And I was, I'm just playing devil's advocate on this one. How was cookout? Was it good? Because we keep seeing the cup.
Shameless plug.
So check this out. I was thinking, the moon does not have gravity. Okay?
Okay.
So how was the flag on the moon?
Oh, they stuck it down in the ground. And hold on, let me finish now, because I researched that. I remember that. I remember that a while back. And this is what they said, because I wasn't there.
There is no gravity.
Right.
It has a very minute amount of gravity. Not enough to hold an object down.
Okay. My understanding is they tap the stick into the ground, and then the flag, there's a rail going through the flag to keep it upright so that it don't flop. That's what they said. I'm not there. I ain't see it.
What I'm saying is, you tap the stick in the ground, it's gonna come back out the ground because there is no gravity.
Like I said, I'm reporting what I read.
I want our listeners to dwell on that this week. I want you to ask
all right.
yourself,
Ladies
what's
and
really
gentlemen,
going
that's
on?
our show for this week. Thank you for tuning in to Ourvoice 360, our perspectives, our ways.
That's it.
Safe, be blessed, and we out.
We out. Peace.